Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
We're back at it.
What's up? Oh my god, this is funny. Hi. Hi.
How are we feeling today?
We are feeling very we are feeling very wish I could find the right word.
The only word that I can think of is voluptuous.
Very voluptuous. I mean, that's a word.
Don't know
Love
what that
that.
means, honestly.
That voluptuous, that means like
Juicy?
like voluptuous, like full figure, like curvy, like
Juicy.
juicy,
Like juicy couture, yeah.
or that. We are feeling very chill. I wish I could find a more like better word for that. But today's a chill day. First, let's stop. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Big Sister, Little Sister. Welcome back to episode 2. We are excited to be here today. We are happy that you are joining us here today. And the vibe is very chill. It's cozy. We got the fireplace going. It's gloomy outside, a little windy, and we're chilling. Right, Alicia?
Vibing.
Just vibing out.
Straight vibing.
And so today, as you can tell by the title of this video already, this podcast, this episode.
Yes.
I gotta start getting used to saying episode because I'm like, it's a little more than just
episode.
A video. The title of this episode is titled. The title of this episode is all about trauma.
Yes.
Something that let that sink in because trauma is heavy.
Yep.
And we are all affected by it.
And everybody has trauma.
Exactly. Everyone has trauma, unfortunately.
I hope everybody recognizes it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think we're in a place in life where people are more so recognizing their trauma, not necessarily dealing with it, but recognizing it. You know what I'm saying?
It can be hard too to just recognize it, you know?
Definitely. I think it takes an amount of self-awareness to just pin the needle on it. Like, okay, this is my trauma. This is
I feel like it also takes time to...
Oh, definitely. Because I feel like ultimately your trauma is going to rear its ugly head and it's going to affect your life in ways, whether it like comes to like relationships or maybe like your career goals, personal goals, self-image, things like that. It's going to rear its ugly head and it's going to make itself present. And so at some point in your life you are going to have to face it whether you want to or not. And if you don't pinpoint it, if you don't recognize the trauma, things that the trauma that has occurred in your life, most likely the people around you will. And they're gonna make you aware of it if they love you, if they're not afraid of you, and it's not gonna feel good when someone you love is like, hey, like you're this is something you need to work on, or this, I don't know if you notice this about yourself, but yada yada yada.
It's a hard pill to swallow, like even if you are the type of person to like go and like go for things head on, like whether that means like you're having like a bad day and you just have to like push through it. You know?
Yeah.
And it can be hard too when someone's like saying something when it's like, oh, I'm like working on that, even though it's like, oh, but it's like from a different perspective, there's other areas in my life too that affects other areas in my life.
Yeah. That is very much valid.
I feel like that also runs along with limiting beliefs too.
Limiting beliefs.
We all struggle with limiting beliefs, including myself.
Oh, definitely. And I think a lot of those limiting beliefs are because of the trauma that you've endured in your life.
It can be so small too.
Exactly.
It has such a big effect.
Exactly.
To who you are. to this day.
Yeah, it
And it
is.
doesn't trauma doesn't like make you who you are,
It doesn't. I
but
think
it's like
it,
it molds you into a person
yes, I think
to
it
heal from
definitely.
what you've experienced.
Definitely. I don't know how to put this, but I think trauma um I think trauma, like, let's say you get like a gift every year. And like trauma is like this box. It could be wrapped up pretty, it could not be.
Mhm.
But it's something that you
Mhm.
necessarily have to deal with it, and your perception of it and how you deal with it is the result of your trauma. I don't know. I guess I'm
Yes.
saying what I'm trying to say is like it doesn't make you who you are, but how you deal with it does. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
Yes.
so like you can be traumatized, like you can have trauma when it comes to like a relationship with the parent and growing up and not necessarily feeling loved, or not having the best relationship with your mom or your dad. And it could be like you feeling like they don't believe in you, or they necessarily don't even care for you or love you, or don't it could be something as simple as that. But I feel like how you deal with that makes you who you are. So like
Yes,
if you could
exactly.
ignore it, um you could play the blame game. For instance, there are adults
Victim.
that live, yeah, the victim, yeah. So there are adults right now and they could be like 28, they could be 30 years old, and they're like, well, I'm like this because my mom such and such. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, that was your trauma, and now
Yep.
you're dealing with it by not taking accountability for being the 30-year-old who still
Cuz you
is
can
not
still
dealing with it.
change.
Exactly. So it's kind of like it's kind of like the like like when you grow up and you're 18 now, you literally have the ability to change your life and live the life that you want to live.
Mhm.
Even though the last 18 years of your life was kind of molded by your parents, right?
Exactly.
um but once you get like that age, even when it comes to like religion, you are able to step outside of what you've been taught all 18 years and be like, well, question this, maybe question
Mhm.
Christianity or a belief, and be like, maybe I want to do my research. I don't necessarily believe in that. That is
Right.
you stepping outside of what your upbringing to create the person that you want to be, like to
Yeah.
create the beliefs or things that you want to believe in. And so you have that adult when it comes to trauma. You could have very much been traumatized, like, or had traumatizing events or relationships your entire childhood. But if you don't reach a certain age where you're like, okay, this is what happened to me, this is what I went through, is this gonna be my future too, or
Mhm.
am I going to flip the switch and turn things around because now I have control over my life? Like,
Mhm.
yes, this has happened to me. Yes, these are the cards that I was dealt. Yes, I had a dad that wasn't present. Yes, I had, someone who maybe sexually abused me, or yes, I had manipulative friendships where I wasn't treated good, or yes,
Mhm.
I had these events. It's just so much trauma could be endless, right?
Mhm.
So all these things, whatever your trauma might be, yes, taking acknowledging that it happened, but acknowledging that it won't be your future, that it won't
Yeah.
create your person who you want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like you literally have that power to do that. And so at some point, that's what I mean when I say like taking accountability of this is like, okay, take accountability. This happened to you, but what are you gonna do? Are you gonna become now? Are you gonna let that rule your life? Are you gonna let it,
Yeah.
what life do you want to live?
Yeah.
Like some people who've had like horrible childhoods, horrible parents, when they pop up pregnant, or when it comes to being a parent, they're like, I don't want to do this. I don't know if I could do this because I don't want to be my mom, or I don't want to,
Mhm.
raise a child. I don't know how to do this. And it's like, yes, that's what you came for, but you literally have an opportunity
Yep.
to create something completely different, to create something beautiful, to give another human being something that you longed for.
Right. Like it's up to you.
Exactly.
It's
And
your choice.
it
We all have
is.
choices, and I feel like we tend to forget that as being human with like having emotions, because when you like feel those emotions, it's like it like flips your world around,
It
and it can be
does.
hard to be like, oh, like I do have a choice. Like it takes awareness.
Definitely, it does. And when, like, speaking on those emotions, is like, even those are temporary, like, it sucks to say that because how you feel in a moment is that you are 100% in that feeling. You don't
Mhm.
care. You don't care. Like, when I'm in a bad space and I'm like, I don't care about life right now. I don't care what I do tomorrow. I don't care. Like I don't care about life right
Mhm.
now. I don't care about ain't nothing is important. Nothing is important right now.
Yeah.
Um, the positive side of me doesn't just come out and say, "Oh, cheer up, Carrie," and I'm like, "Okay." No, I'm in those emotions. I'm in those feelings. I'm
Yeah.
feeling anger. I'm feeling sadness. I'm feeling depression. And so it's hard, but I know a part of me knows, like, okay, these feelings are temporary. They're not here to stay. Um, but that's just how I'm feeling right now. You
Yeah.
know?
Of course.
Um,
I feel like too a lot of people don't realize that there's like when you think of or you could just see other people's lives in the sense of like getting young like and pregnant. Not that this is not a bad thing at all, by the way, but this is like something that I've seen in probably my family. It's in my family. But you know there's like a something called generational trauma, and it can be passed on. Like
oh
I could see
yes.
it happen with my grandma, and I could see it happen with a few other members of my family. And not that that was a bad thing, but that was something that they had to go through and do something for themselves to break something like out of
Yeah.
their sight. There's always like a black sheep to the family, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that person is so important. I feel like I'm one of those people, and I definitely like I can see that as my mom too. My mom's definitely like a generational curse breaker to the sense of like she could only do what she could with her time and
Mm-hmm.
when that was taking effect in her life, cuz like back then it was so different to how it was now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like everything has been molded from my grandma, you
Yeah.
know, in her life, but she could only do so much. So now
Yeah.
it's like up to me to like heal from these things that have also happened. That's like that it's like almost like my mom and my dad couldn't get to because it was like
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes
Because
sense.
no, it definitely makes sense how um so the goal is to not pass down, you know, generational curses, right?
Yeah. I mean
Um
there always will be some though. That is
exactly,
the
there's always
sad
going to be
thing.
some form of it.
But it's not
Um
sad though cuz it brings you to the person like your most authentic self.
Definitely. And not only that, but it shows you how far you have, like, your lineage, your family. It shows you how far, like, your family history has come.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I think about generational curses, and I think about my mom's background and her history and the stories I've been told, and then her mom's history, and even just like me being here today where I am, I think it's like a huge testimony from where, like, my mom comes from and breaking generational curses. And so, like, I know the way that I was raised in a household with six other brothers and sisters, my mom, huge back family, no dad around, honestly, and just like struggling financially, being in like a bad environment. And then I look at where I am right now in my life, and I'm living like a totally different life. And so, and because of that awareness
And
of
you
like
wanted to
being
be
aware,
here
yeah,
and you did that.
yeah.
Slay.
Yeah, because like even a generational curse could honestly be me, not being a teenage mom,
Mhm.
because I come from a background of family where everyone's a mom and a teenager. Everyone is you're a
Mhm.
teenage mom, you're struggling financially, you're broke. Like
Mhm.
that just was life,
Yeah.
and I will literally say every birthday, and this is off topic, but like every birthday in my childhood was like we were poor. Like I didn't have much on my birthday at all. My mom could barely afford a cake most times.
Aw.
And so, but like me growing up and creating a life that I am for myself, like I know like my child won't have that. My
Yeah.
child won't have to struggle with that. And I am, consciously making the decision that I don't want to be a teenage mom, that I want to be in a two-parent household, that I want to. And so these are the type of generational curses that I'm breaking, that okay, I want to go to college, I want to go to school. I
Mhm.
don't want to be on any type of government assistance,
Mhm.
things like that. Just small decisions, but are still breaking generational curses of like of like my
Yeah.
family's history.
It can be so
And so
small
yeah, it
too.
can be so small, and trauma does not have to be touching back on trauma. It doesn't have to be something big. It literally does not. It doesn't have to be some grand story of how you were mistreated in life or abused, and it literally can be a simple something simple. You know, it could be anything, and that's what I want
Mhm.
people to know, is that sometimes trauma is literally just a thought that molds the rest of your life if you base this thought on decisions that you make in your
Mhm.
life. So like you said, if your trauma could be like, maybe it could be not getting the attention you wanted as a child, from parents, from siblings, feeling like you don't belong. And what does that do? That makes you go into the world feeling like you don't belong, craving that attention. So
Yep.
even when it comes to like creating relationships at school, you feel like, well, nobody pays attention to me at home, nobody's gonna pay attention to me here, I'm unimportant. And so
Mhm.
you kind of carry these little things with you as just like ideologies that you
Mhm.
just carry with you. And you kind of traumatize yourself within that, within those thoughts.
Well, and sometimes they're hidden though.
They are.
Those limiting beliefs.
They
And
are.
it's like cuz you just like feel that way cuz you're just so used to that habit of like negative
Comfortability. Yep.
cycle.
The negative. Yep. Exactly.
Cuz
Exactly.
then it's like sometimes when um you're like in a negative like thought process and you're like trying to be positive and basically be like that third voice and be like, no, today's actually gonna be a great day, no
Yeah.
matter what happens. Like, I'm gonna get through it and I'm gonna handle it a lot better than I think,
Mm-hmm.
because like I've come so far.
Exactly. And that kind of goes back to like the last video when you saying like sometimes they can be hidden, because remember when I told you like, wow, I can't believe like we're sitting right here actually like starting this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an idea. I mean, I read like this quote that said, if you were struggling to like do something, that you like like commit to a dream that you want to do, or even just start, it's because you don't believe that you can do it. You don't believe in yourself, and you
Yeah.
don't believe in the dream. And that was just like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Because right there it was like a hidden, um it was like a hidden
Limiting
lie,
belief.
limiting belief that I told myself. Was like, I can be successful doing this. Like, who wants to listen to me talk,
Yeah,
and that's
I
like the thing.
do.
Thank you. But that's like the things, that the lies that you tell yourself. It's like, um it's like, who wants to listen to me, dog? And there's like a million people on the internet right now, and they all have some kind of fan base or some
Or
kind of
it's
group of
like,
people that are listening to them.
yeah, or it's even too, it's like I even like had this process in our last episode. I was like, few limiting beliefs came up just with like the way I'm talking, or I'm like trying to like be quick with thinking, and then I'm like lose my train of thought or something, and then I'm like, oh no, like I don't know. It's like I don't know how to describe like what I was actually like the limiting belief, but it was just more like just my process of like me like thinking about how I'm speaking, how I'm talking is like I don't know. Like I just think about it in a way where it's like, did I make my point across? Or it's like,
Yeah, it's like the self doubt
or self
of like,
sabotage
yeah, that
too.
too.
Cause then cause
Definitely.
then when I looked back at it, I was like, oh my gosh, like I love this. Like this is
Yes.
amazing. And I was like, what the I'm like, I
But in
didn't
the
even see
moment,
that.
yeah, but in the moment you're like, did I word that right? Do they even get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Is it even worth saying? Did I just confuse everyone? Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's that self doubt. And it's like, girl, you know what you're talking about.
And that still leads to
To
trauma.
trauma. Exactly. To trauma. That's exactly what it leads to. And those limiting beliefs.
Power of word and thoughts.
Yes, that leads us into the power of words and
Okay, I
thoughts.
just gotta say too,
Go.
it's delusional, and you just if you fake it till you make it, it's delusional until it actually happens.
Exactly.
Because I can tell you this,
Um.
I'm living in it right now.
Yeah.
I was delusional for probably like a year or two, and now I'm like, I'm cooking, baby.
I love that. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna mention J. Cole because I love him. He's the love of my life. I'm sorry to his wife. Anyways, but I love him, and he goes like, he says like, if you have a dream, like, you have to be so delusional. Like, don't limit yourself. Like, we know what reality is. We know what being realistic is and what that means. But when you have a dream, forget being realistic. Like, just be as delusional as you can and envision like the highest possible outcome. So like when you think
Could
about
we doubt
something,
ourselves?
exactly. So when you think about something that you want, what is like the highest possible results, the outcome, something that like it blows your mind away, something like that you know is probably not realistic, but it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
What can you get from this? So when we think about this podcast, we could be like, what are what's the highest possible outcome, something that could happen? And what we hit 1 million subscribers, right?
Yep.
We make this our full-time job.
Yes.
We inspire 1 million women. We go on like inspirational tours to different cities. We're traveling to different countries. We got merch.
Yes.
We got a fan club. Like we are financially secure. We we inspire a nation of women and men across. That is what I see as my highest, that's what I see.
Same.
And so like you be as delusional about it as you can, because that's what makes it possible. It's literally the thought that is possible that makes it possible.
Like even when you're like not believing in yourself too, that's when it's most important. Like
exactly,
you gotta flip it at some point.
Exactly. And so when you go into like the power of your words, that's when those limiting beliefs come at you. Like that's when they're like when you have these limiting beliefs and you tell yourself nobody cares. Like nobody cares what you have to say. Like but they do. And the truth of the matter is you care what you have to say. And we all know that that's ultimately like that's what's most important, right? It's like I have a thought, I have a belief, I have something to say, I'm gonna say it. And just the power of your words. And I am guilty when it comes to speaking life into myself and speaking positivity into myself and affirming myself. I'm guilty that I don't do that. Not even a half of what, like a fifth of what I should, like I don't, and I'm guilty. And so how do I be better at doing that, Alicia?
I think we're all guilty of it, honestly.
Yeah,
I feel like it just takes repetition though.
It
like
definitely
it truly does. Like it's like you gotta also learn too that like through the pain that there's so much beauty that happens through it. There's so much.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
And it's like every
true.
single time you go through that too, at least for me, like I just feel so proud of myself and I try to like be focused on like how far I've come, because sometimes we don't even realize how far we've come.
I know.
Like,
and then when I
the
think
small
about
tiny
it,
steps that we've taken that like made us morph into this.
Exactly. And that's the other thing is like being nice to yourself, because I can easily speak life into you. Like I'll pour all into you. I will fill your cup, Alicia. I'll tell you how great you are. I'll tell you how, girl, I see a good future for you. I see this. And I can do that for anybody that I believe in. I can do that for anyone. I can do that for anyone. But when it comes to myself, it's like, girl, I had to ask myself like 2 weeks ago, it's like, why don't you treat yourself as well as you treat other people? And that was just like a whoa. Like I don't treat myself. How do I do that? What's the step? And like, because you hear everyone, I'm going all over the place, but you hear everyone touching based on like self-love, and just being kind to yourself and strengthening a relationship with yourself. And it's so much easier like like it's so much easier said than done. And self-love is not just putting on a face mask and like relaxing for the day. It literally is like internally, like internal self-love. Like how do you get started on that
Are you asking?
on that pathway? I'm asking, and I'm asking myself, and I'm asking you too. Like, how do we? Because you could say like journal, but I think I'm getting to my answer now that I'm asking myself. Consistency.
That's another thing. You always have the answer.
Yeah.
You may think you don't, but you always have the answer. It's there. Yeah. It's always there. It's always, for me, I feel like for you too, it's always when you're saying it to someone else, you're like, damn, I should be telling myself that.
Exactly. It's always there. And I feel like if you can't find it within yourself, the universe will kind of lead you to that answer.
Even if that means you have to go through pain too.
Exactly.
But it's like that's the beauty of it though too, going through pain. Like you'll eventually be like, yeah, Like I did that.
I did that. Yeah, and so touching base on like childhood or like what you said is like seeing how far you come, you look back and you're like, dang, like I came so far, and I genuinely do feel like that. Like I'm so hard on myself. And when you are so hard on yourself, you are critical of yourself, but not only yourself, but you're critical of everyone else around you.
Mhm.
And criticism is like the biggest, it could be like your biggest downfall.
Mhm.
And so when I look back on like where I come from or like my childhood or like that little 10-year-old little girl, the 14, the 16-year-old girl, the 18 little girl that didn't know anything, I'm just like, oh, Carrie, don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Like you are here, you know?
Mhm.
You're not doing bad, girl. Like you're here.
I feel like it's like when you know you see something that says like you need to like love yourself in order to like get through this. It can be like such a broad thing
Mhm.
cuz like I feel like when I like started focusing on that I'm like, "But how? Like how do I do that?" It
Yeah.
literally takes like the smallest steps and then it becomes a habit. Like that's like Atomic Habits if you've read it. I suggest it. I didn't read the whole thing, but I know it's
I need
great
to
from
read
what
it
I've
too.
read.
I need to read it too, honestly.
But yeah, like like the smallest steps like with like when you're feeling like the most down and or you're just scared or you're just having anxiety or like you're just feeling a bunch of emotions, like literally talk to yourself. You got to talk to yourself. That's at least that's what has helped me. I feel like if I'm just literally that third voice in my head and I'm just like, it's okay, Alicia, it might not seem like it right now, but it will all work out. And I love you. And I feel like honestly, like looking at yourself in the mirror too, like you're just like, hey, I see you. You're slaying.
And it might feel so weird at first. Cause
Yeah,
like
but then
even
it's
just
like
thinking about like being in the mirror, like, girl, I love you. You did so good today, girl. So proud of you, girl. Look at you. And so
yes.
it might feel weird. I need to do that more too.
Yeah.
That's our
No,
homework.
same.
That's our
Yeah.
homework. This episode.
Yeah.
That's our homework. We need to
Yeah.
start giving homework.
Yeah.
Is to look in the mirror and tell yourself 3 positive affirmations. Tell yourself that you are proud of yourself and that you love yourself and that, oh, this is a good one, and that you forgive yourself.
Yes.
That needs to be a whole entire
Forgiveness is
episode
key.
because, oh my God, I, being at the age that I am right now, I don't think, more now than ever, I realize that there are things in my life, I don't know, but there are things that I think about that has happened in the past. It could be something so simple. It could be being in school and someone saying something mean to me, or it could be being embarrassed about something, like why did I do that at that time?
Mm-hmm.
Something like different moments
Yes.
throughout your life that make you cringe internally. You're like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why didn't I stick up for myself? Why did I do that? And those are moments that, whether you believe it or not, they impact your entire life. Like, these are moments that you need to look back on and you need to forgive yourself for,
Mm-hmm.
because it shouldn't make you cringe and you get embarrassed. Like, I don't know, you get embarrassed. It could be like the most simplest things of like
Yeah.
saying something that you felt was stupid and with a group of people, and then beating yourself up for it later. Like, why did I say that? I know I look so stupid. I look so childish. Like, it could be something like that, or why didn't I do that? It could be anything, but I have
Mm-hmm.
moments. The point is, I have moments that I look back on my life and I'm like, why did I say that? Why didn't I stick up for myself? And I cringe and I feel bad about it. And the thought of it just makes me feel,
And in those
and then
moments,
I
you're like
feel,
judging
yeah, and I'm judging
yourself.
myself. I'm being so critical of myself. I kind of hating myself because what I did, what I said in that time was me being me. And it's
Exactly.
me hating on myself. Remember I used to say like, girl, you
Mm-hmm.
hate, it's me hating on myself. And I think about those moments like every year, like random times as you age. Like I think about it when I'm 26, and now I'm 28, and I'm thinking about it when I'm 29. I look back and I'm still cringing. And what that is me not forgiving myself, me
Mm-hmm.
not understanding myself, me hating on myself. And if you don't have that self forgiveness of things like past things that may have or may not have been a mistake, you will never move on from that trauma. You'll
Yeah.
never grow from that. And you will
Or
never,
you'll just be stuck in that
yeah,
feeling until you
yeah, of
take a look
shame.
at it.
Exactly. Of shame. And you can't love yourself and you cannot grow into, you know, the person that you are meant to be, the person that you want to be if you can't accept who you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of insanity.
Yeah.
Us as humans, we all do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It
That's
is.
literally because you're just going in the same loop over
Exactly.
and over.
And so it's all like, how do you forgive yourself? We're gonna do some course. We're gonna come back with some like some more educational like parts to this
Yes.
because um although we are here and although we want to inspire, there's a lot more growing we got to do. There's a lot more
Yeah.
growing that I have to do, and I
Same.
want to do that here in this space with you and with you, and I want to look back and be like a different person, you know.
Yeah.
um and that's the goal.
You guys are gonna see it. Like it's gonna
Exactly.
all
And that's the
unfold.
beauty of it. Is you're
Yeah.
gonna see it when we look back on these videos, we're gonna see it. And once again, we're gonna be able to look back and be like, girl, you did that. Proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Proud of you, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, pretty much.
I was gonna say something too, like addiction to negative thoughts. I don't know if we
Nope.
touched
You
on
did it.
this. But being like a human, our brain, like it goes kind of with the habits.
Mm-hmm.
Like our brain is addicted to negative thoughts because of the limiting beliefs from the
Mm-hmm.
trauma that we've experienced from our childhood. Like it affects us to this day.
Mm-hmm. And it's easier, it's so much easier to believe a lie than to believe the truth. And
Yeah.
we know that in life. And so it's so much easier to believe those negative thoughts or to rehearse saying them to ourselves.
Because it's
And we
different.
affirm them when bad things happen to us. And
Mm-hmm.
so like 2 weeks ago
Mm-hmm.
when my car got towed, I'm like, I'm so stupid. I know better. I'm so stupid. You know, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
so stupid and I
But you're
deserve
not.
this because of such and such. And so those negative thoughts is so much easier to, instead of like looking at the situation, be like, oh, people are just greedy in the world. They do anything to tow a car. Now I blame it on myself internally of me being stupid and me not taking it serious to park your car where I'm supposed to, or
That's another forgiveness
yeah,
thing
that is.
too.
And so it's so easy to just be like, I'm stupid, be upset, be in those feelings and move on. But what that is doing, those negative thoughts, is just, it's just knocking me down more and more. I'm
It's
up here and it's
adding.
breaking off, it's chipping off
Mm-hmm.
pieces to who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
And
god,
it's like
mind
adding, and
blown.
it's adding to that, like,
Oh my god, as I'm talking, I'm like, wow, it is chipping off, it chips off pieces to you.
mm-hmm.
It does, it chips, it just chips and chips more at you because it's like, once the situation is over, you still never address that you called yourself stupid.
Yeah,
And so it
you
gets
gotta say
easier the next
sorry. You
time.
gotta say sorry to
Yeah.
yourself. Be like, I'm sorry I said that. That's like
That's
an
not
example.
true.
That's an
You are
example
very
to self
intelligent. You are
love.
very smart. You do the best that you can when you can. You make decisions in
Yes.
that moment that you think are best, and that's all you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Carrie, I forgive you. You are not
Period.
stupid.
You know, I have to remind myself that though too. Like when I get like mad or I'm just like, oh my, like why did I do that?
Uh
It's like if
huh.
I didn't do that, then da 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 da. And it's like no, that was meant to happen for you to just address how
Exactly.
you're feeling and also to not hate on yourself. Which
Exactly.
it's gonna keep showing up until you get it right. You know, until you learn to get it right.
Exactly. Girl, don't hate on yourself. Girl, stop hating
Love
on yourself.
yourself. Love yourself.
That's for you out there. If you out there hating on yourself, take a good look in the mirror and ask yourself, do you really want to be your biggest hater?
No, you don't.
You don't.
They're
Like
gonna say that for you.
let
No, you don't.
yeah, no, you don't. Like let somebody else be your biggest hater.
Yeah.
Like it's literally you against you, and you are all that you have
And when
at the
someone's
end of the
hating on
day.
you, it's just because you're being your most authentic self.
Authentic self. And if you're gonna hate on you for being yourself, oh my god, what's gonna stop everybody in the world from hating on you for being yourself?
Right.
And you are
You.
gonna think everybody in the world.
You are the only person that can stop yourself, you know?
I can't snap good, but I'm trying. Yes,
Purr.
because a word, please. because it's just my like even open. It's just like just talking about it. Just like girl, do
We're
better.
channeling.
Yeah, do better, girl. We all got to do better. That's our homework. For this episode is to stop hating on yourself. Give yourself 3 affirmations and just consistently tell yourself that.
And find something too that like calms your mind. Like I feel like for me when I'm like really upset, I just always tell myself I'm like, breathing does make you feel better. If you just sit and breathe
Mhm.
for a second, take in the moment, like it's truly like it feels good. It feels good to breathe.
Mhm.
So like I mean, we
Definitely.
got to breathe anyway, so it's like
Yeah.
might as well.
It's like that. Yeah, it's like all the stuff that is good for you. We look at it as if it's just like a job.
Mhm. No,
So it's like
literally.
I love the thought of meditation. I want to meditate. I want to be a meditating queen. Do I take time out of my day to meditate? No, I don't. Do I want to? Almost certainly, most
Mhm.
definitely. Do I do it? No, I don't. And it's like those simple things that we know can improve the quality of our life. Oh, what is it?
That's a small step
Yeah,
that
it's like the small
literally,
step of like just doing it.
and then it becomes a
And then
habit,
it becomes a
and then you're
habit.
slaying queen.
Exactly. Period. Love that. Um and so like do I know like breathe there is so much like I know there's so many studies on breathing techniques and how they can regulate emotions and
Mhm.
things like that.
Anxiety too.
Do we do it? No. I
No.
know we need to though.
We
We need
do it when
to.
it's absolute. At least I do. I do it when it's
Exactly.
absolutely necessary, and then I'm like, oh, I should.
And you know what? That leads us on to the next thing because that's a result of trauma too. Because
Mhm.
instead of creating positive coping mechanisms, we do the easiest things, which
Yep.
don't necessarily make us better in the end.
Uh huh. I
It
don't help
doesn't build us
us.
up. And that could be just like having um like the unhealthy eating habits, like
Could be
binge
substances
eating.
too.
Yeah, it could be like addiction to substances. It could be also just dropping what is a better term for this? It could be simply like dropping off the face of the earth, meaning like putting your phone on DND, not like talking to people. And I mean like for a long period of time. You know, those people will be like, oh, when I have like a breakdown, when I'm in depression, like I don't talk to my family, I don't call my
Mhm.
mom, I don't talk to the people that love me, I don't reach out, I ignore people, I kind of
Self isolate.
yes, you self isolate and then you detach from the world. What is another word that I'm looking for? Disassociate. Like you
That's
kind
not a
of
bad thing.
disassociate from with things, you know? Like I
Yeah.
know like when I have a long day at work, like I could see, and I'm gonna be so honest, this being real, like I I could see myself like I'm not answering a call. I'm not looking at emails. I'm not like I can't take anymore. Like I need a moment to
Mhm.
only focus on myself. So I'm gonna put on Netflix and I'm gonna ignore everything.
Mhm.
Because I need that moment to disassociate because life has been hard. Today's been hard. And my
Yeah.
brain cannot take it. You know?
Yeah, I feel like a lot
Um
of people are struggling with that right now, but also I feel like they're viewing it as like a bad thing in their
yeah,
life, which
because you
it's like
feel guilty too.
when you disassociate, I feel like for me at least, and at times it has its good and bad, but like, everything's balanced like that. But it's like in a way it is good for you because you're so present. Like
It
you are
definitely
present, you're
is.
present within yourself,
I
and
think
being
so
present is a
too.
great thing.
But when I'm in that moment, I don't feel like it's good for me. I feel guilt because it's like, okay, I'm ignoring people. I'm not being
That goes
productive.
back to
Led to
limiting
trauma and
beliefs.
trauma because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm not being productive. And like, who said you had to be productive? You know,
Yeah.
who said you binge watch a Netflix show? Wow, you did 10 episodes in a row. Oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm just
Sounds
wasting
like a
my
good
life away.
time.
And it sounds like an amazing time and I
Yeah.
enjoy doing it. But while I'm doing it, I also beat myself up for doing it. You know, and
Mhm.
what is that? Like
Yeah.
trauma, like what is that makes you not just enjoy it? If you're gonna do it, just let it all go and enjoy it. But no,
It's because of
the guilt.
expectations from
Yeah.
probably our limiting beliefs that tell us that we need to be A, B, and C from people
Amen
who have
to
told us that when we were younger.
amen to that. Amen to that. Amen to that. It's just a
Mhm. I struggle with that though too. That's like a little bit of like the bad part for me too, is like probably technology.
Mm-hmm.
Cause then it's like I'm not present when I'm like on techno. But you know, if I'm like doing laundry and I'm like I need to distract myself by cleaning. I need to just turn on my music and just
Mm-hmm.
clean and just ignore.
Yeah. And
And
it
it
feels
makes me feel
good.
good.
Yeah. And it feels
And that's
good.
not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's most certainly not. It's literally what you need in that moment. And that's all that that is.
I just want to say too, don't agree with that negative limiting belief that's in your head. Don't agree with it. Say something to it. You can stop it. You have a choice.
You do.
And I know it's harder and it's easier said than done, but once you take time to do it once and you keep trying to do it, as long as you're trying, that's all that matters, and then you're doing it.
Yes, it literally just takes um you to start. We know that
Mhm.
consistency is the key for results when it comes to anything. But the main point is just starting. And so, um, am I consistent? I try to listen to affirmations in the morning every morning. Do I do it every morning? Absolutely not. Am I consistent with it? Absolutely not. But I have started. And with me starting, I listen to Louise Hayes. And she goes like, well, when you have these limiting beliefs or these negative thoughts that you think of yourself, just literally say every time, thanks for sharing, and you're kind of brushing
Mm.
it off. And so it literally to this day, every time I'm like, I think something negative about myself, I'm like, thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. And it
I like
doesn't happen
that.
with every negative thought, but it happens. And
Yeah.
so with me just making a decision to start and listen to her, and that's like the one thing that I got from that video is like, thanks for sharing and move on.
Mhm.
Just like you would to somebody else that tell you something you don't agree with and you don't care. It's like, okay, you're
Yeah.
like, okay,
Thanks for
bye.
sharing.
Thanks for sharing. I really don't care. That's kind of what you need to do with those negative thoughts. And so you don't even have to be negative and give it attitude, but I'm just like, all right, thanks for sharing. And it's gone. It's out of my brain because I don't give it the energy that it wants, you know?
Yeah,
And
exactly. That's
yeah.
mhm.
And so me just starting is like, thanks for sharing, and I move on because I know what's true. I could be like, oh, you're so
Exactly.
stupid. Oh no, thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. Oh my God, you need to lose weight. You need to start taking it. You're just huge. Thanks for sharing, and go on.
Yeah. I
And go
was
on.
I was going to say something too about consistency. I feel like when we think of consistency, we think we have to do it every single day.
And we think we have to
And we
do it
put
at a
pressure.
100% every
Yeah.
single day.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes,
And
yes,
that's
yes,
that's
yes.
not
That's
consistency.
not because we
You
all think
as
it is consistency. It is not.
and
I
it's
literally just found out like a month or two ago that's not consistency.
mhm.
Like literally, like I'm a grown woman, and I
Mhm.
just found that out. And I find that help from social media. We learn a lot from social media, right?
Mhm.
The good, the bad, whatever. But it was a thing, and it was like what people actually think consistency is, and it's like a meme of like Monday through Friday, and you're at 100%, 100%, 100%. But what it actually is going to the gym Monday through Friday, and some days you're at 30, and another day you are at 100, or
Yeah.
the next day maybe you're at 10, and the next day maybe you're at 40 or 80. But it's like, what did you do every day? You showed
Mhm.
up Monday through Friday.
Mhm.
That is consistency. Is showing up, not always showing up at 100, not always
Yeah.
showing up at your best, because that is unrealistic, and
Exactly.
that leads to burnout, and that leads to you actually not being consistent because you're gonna burn out eventually. You're gonna crash.
Yeah, and we can make choices too to like what we choose based off of feeling, but also it does take recognition to be like, I don't feel like doing this, but I know this is gonna make me feel good.
Oh my
Which that can
gosh,
be so hard, but
struggling with that.
also like once you start to like like see that it's like a consistent pattern of like, oh, like today I want to color. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
that was on my agenda today, but then you had to go to the gym, you had to go grocery shopping, you had to clean the house, you had to do laundry, you had to read a book for 15 minutes, but you couldn't get to coloring because you needed to shower and you needed to cook dinner. That's something where it's okay like to not beat yourself up on, but
Mm-hmm.
you were still being consistent in the sense of other things in your life and you will still have time for that later
Exactly.
on another day when you need that.
Uh-huh.
That day you needed that. So we don't need to beat ourselves up about like you know, wanting to do something even though like we had to do other things first,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yep, I know. Exactly. Because once again, that's not gonna get you anywhere.
Mhm.
The the hating on yourself, because that's what you're
Yep.
doing. It's
Mhm.
not gonna get you anywhere. Um, and it's just going to affirm the limiting beliefs
Yep.
instead of affirming that you are doing your best, giving it your all, that you are human and that you're able to not be at 100 all the time.
Mhm.
And so you really got to choose on what you want to affirm, what thoughts you want to affirm.
Mhm.
And it, like I said, it's easier. Everything is easier said than done. Why does life have to be so hard, right?
But when you
But
start, it feels good,
exactly.
and then you'll be thinking of what it felt like when you first started, and then you'll want to do it. You'll start to want to do it, and then it'll just be a given.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed. A lot of eye awakening moments,
Yeah.
thoughts. I got homework to do.
Yeah, we all do. We
Yeah.
all do. I do too.
And with that homework, I'm gonna do a journaling challenge. Starting tomorrow. But
Slay.
I'm gonna journal for 30 days and get to
I want to do that with
the
you. I've been
bottom.
lacking. Yeah,
Really?
I've been lacking
We
in
should do a 30
journaling.
day
I've kind of
challenge.
been avoiding it because I don't know. I
Oh
feel like,
my
they say
gosh.
journaling is good, but I think I went through a rabbit hole of like basically like beating myself up and I
Yeah.
didn't realize it. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to
No.
stop for a second because this stresses me out. And that was something I was consistent in until I wasn't because
Yeah.
I realized that I was doing something that I just did not need to do for that time moment. That wasn't helping me at the time.
Yeah.
But now I want to start doing it again.
Me
I
too.
feel like it's time.
Me too. I feel like I have a lot inside of me
Yeah.
that needs to kind of be brought to the surface before I can become the type of woman that I want to be. And the truth of the matter is, we all have this idea of having our lives together, right? Or being the person that we see ourselves in the future. But I want to be a person I that forgives themselves, and I want to be a person that is not walking around with trauma that I'm not healing, or those negative limiting beliefs, or guilt for past mistakes. I just want to be at a good place in my life, mentally and spiritually, where I truly love myself, I truly forgive myself, and there is nothing that I'm allowing to hold me back and chain me down. And I feel like if I'm going to get there, I need to journal. I need to bring some things to the surface. I need to work on them. I need to forgive myself. I need to just bring it all out of me.
You're
Um,
already doing it.
I
We're
know, but
doing
I
it
feel like
sitting here though
we
too.
are. We definitely are. But
Mhm.
this is new. And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
we definitely are.
No, I've been thinking
And
about that though too. Like I know there onions have layers. We're literally
exactly.
we're literally just gonna be
Peeling
like,
them back.
mhm.
Yeah.
It's gonna be beautiful. It might be a little bit hard, but I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be
It is.
beautiful.
Because I told you that I was on Chat GBT and they were, oh, I
I
never
got
finished
chat.
those. Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I know you hear a lot. Everybody is hearing a lot about Chat GPT and like AI and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, like, it is tea, okay? Like it is the GOAT.
For like mental
Because
health.
for like a lot of things, girl, for like a lot of things, it is really good. Okay,
I
just
haven't
like
used it
ask
too
it
much.
questions. Ask it questions. Tell it to give you like writing prompts, journaling prompts.
Oh, I haven't
Reveal
even.
like inner things about yourself, and it'll ask you questions, and you just respond back, and it just like awakens. It just awakens a lot within you. And so like I started this prompt thing where it's like reveal like my high spiritual self, and reveal like the traumas that I'm holding, things that I'm holding on to, pain that I won't let go. How do I grow? How do I move on? How do I, learn to love myself? And literally like with every question that I was answering, I was like crying. Like I was like, oh my god, yes, because I feel so bad because this happened, and I'm like this type of person, or I hold myself back, and I don't. I literally was crying with every question. I'm just like, wow, that's like a
That's some
therapist, you
release,
know? Yeah.
yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I never finished it because, baby, with every question I was like, but
You started it
I
though.
did start. It's almost
That's
starting.
amazing. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, and so I don't know. It's just it's very powerful. I don't
Yeah.
know. And nobody, it's not even someone that you have to like talk to. Like it's AI.
Yeah.
And so like you be completely honest with this AI and it literally just like tells you like what it is. And oh my god, it's so cool.
That reminds me too. I saw someone say it might have been Jadina. Hmm. The little she does channel messages. I think I said that in the last
Uh-huh.
episode.
Yeah.
But she was saying how this year the n-
Neurologist.
numerological
Okay. Neurological.
noom
Numerological. You know what we're talking about. They know what we're talking about. They know what you're talking about.
9. It's 9. The number's 9.
Okay.
And that's my number. That's my angel
Uh-huh.
number.
Yeah.
And it means like the basis of what it means is basically release.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that. I'm so like I'm excited for it. I know it's going to be a journey, but
This is gonna be worth
really
it.
it's going to feel so good
Mm-hmm.
to release.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's what I feel like everybody's kind of going through something right now.
Definitely. Everybody's always going through some. Life is hard.
Mm, but we're all releasing.
But we are all releasing. It gets better.
Yeah.
It'll get better.
Mm-hmm.
It does. You gotta believe.
Yep, as long as you believe. That's what they say on like every Disney movie.
That is.
And you know
Life is a Disney movie.
No, literally. Yeah, you gotta live your life like a Disney movie. Just
Mhm.
believe in yourself and then it all will end up like a Disney movie at the end, you know?
Love it.
Yeah. Wow, so natural. You look so tired after this.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't look tired.
Maybe it's just because you're yawning and I just see
Yeah,
your
I know.
eyes water.
I keep yawning. I hate it. I'm sorry. I'm tired.
No, it's okay. Don't
Oh.
say sorry,
Oh,
girl.
oh my god, it's such a chill day. Like, look at it. It's so chill. Anyways.
Oh,
Yes.
I love you.
So,
God, we got so much coming for us, Carrie.
we do.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited where this is gonna lead us.
I'm so excited too. Nervous, but excited.
No, we don't need to be nervous.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited.
We can turn into. Did you know that like the same chemical that happens when you're excited and when you're like nervous or anxious, it's the same chemical, so you can like literally just flip it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you're nervous, just put on a good song and
I'm
get
happy.
excited.
I'm
No,
happy.
you just gotta get excited.
Okay.
It's easy.
Is it all green?
Yeah, I forgot what I said.
Perfect.
Oh, you just gotta flip it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flip that button.
it's easier said than done, but
Mhm.
consistency when you need it. Yeah,
When you need it.
yeah.
That's the key word. Oh my god. That is the key statement. When you need it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you guys so much for watching Big Sister, Little Sister.
Yes, on this episode of Trauma. Don't forget to do your homework. Tell yourself those affirmations. Start a journaling. Whatever it is you need to work on, just start. You don't have to be consistent, but
Yeah.
just start.
Yeah.
We are rooting for you. We are, rooting for each other.
Always.
And we look forward to seeing you guys on our next episode. So, love always.
Love always.
Mwah.
Mwah. It reminded me of like Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do that?
What?
Mwah.
Mwah. Yeah, what you like?
I can't do it. Shout out to Brittany, Minnie Mouse, Minnie. I hope you're having a great time in.
Oh my gosh! This episode is dedicated to
Brittany.
Brittany.
I'm gonna send this to her. And
Bryn, I hope you're having the time of your life. I love you. Mwah.
I
You
love
are
you and
changing
miss
the
you.
world one moment
Yes.
at a time. Every decision you make matters. No pressure. But you are already where you are supposed to be. And I wish the best for you, girl.
I love you and I miss you. I feel like we should also say, I was thinking this today. We're in Minnesota.
Do you guys want to stalk us or something? I'm just kidding.
Minnesota.
We're in Minnesota. Once we get some fans, we'll be like Q&A.
Yeah.
Q&A.
Yeah.
Q&A.
Yes.
Once we got like thousands, it'll happen so fast. Just watch.
No, it
I'm
is.
just kidding. It's
No,
gonna happen.
no, you're not kidding.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Words matter. But it'll happen exactly when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That is what I will say.
Yeah.
And not a moment
exactly.
sooner.
Divine timing.
Divine timing.
There's always divine timing.
The world is working with us.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not against us. Good
The
is
world
coming
is
our way.
working for you.
Exactly.
For you.
Amen. I don't mind doing. Yeah.